Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. This is Carol Parisi. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself have Jeff Tucek and Mr. Bill Zettler. We're speaking politics, pensions, Tea Party, I mean, the whole shebang bang. And now, Bill, during the break, we were talking about pensions and what we need to do right now to reform these things.
What we really need to do is to get everybody on the current pension system on the 401k type systems, which is part of Senate Bill 512. It's part 3. The problem with 512 is there's 2 other options. So my problem with that is I think a lot of them are going to take the first 2, which is not going to solve the problem. There are other things that can be done outside of that. For example, pensions are not taxed in Illinois. That's $350 million a year of revenue that we could be getting. COLAs are worth $210 million a year. There's $560 million that we could get from people who are currently getting pensions. The rest of the money comes from those who are working. The people who are working are the ones that are going to get the worst deal.
Pensions are not
I can add
taxed.
into taxing
Pensions are not
pensions
taxed.
because I am taxed on Social Security. I'm so damned old, but I didn't get my pension until I was 70 years old because I was still working. I'm 88, and I'm still paying in to Social Security. And I got probably the biggest Social Security pension of anybody because I'm so old. I was there when the damn thing started. And I get about $36,000 a year in pension. And that's got to be the top. But 85% of that is taxable.
Well, that's at the federal level. I'm talking just at the state level.
But
if we tax them at the state level, we'll get $350 million a year.
Stop right here. I wanted you to repeat that again, that pensions are not taxed.
Pensions are not taxed in Illinois.
You
the
have
state income tax.
You have Social Security that's taxed. You have...
No, Social Security is not taxed in Illinois at the state level.
And they put taxes on things for different reasons. For instance, industry is taxed about 60% more than individuals. So having classes of taxing different things, they're already doing it, so they can't say they can't do that. They should be taxing.
But the most important thing, because I've used Bill's own data, is the COLA. That 3% is
$210 million a year.
What
it'll
is
take
the
a
COLA?
70,000
Explain to our
Cost of
listeners.
living adjustment,
Yep.
3%. Every state pensioner, in fact, every pensioner in Illinois that I've seen, automatically gets a 3% increase every year, even if there's no increase in the cost of living. For example, Jack and I's Social Security has not gone up the last 2 years. It's been 0.
You get Social Security? You don't look old enough to get Social Security, Bill.
Well, thanks, Carol.
It's true.
Here's a tip. I'm going to give you...
No, that's okay. No pay for play on this show. So COLA goes up, cost of living...
3% every year
no matter
in
what.
Illinois.
By the way, that's
no
a
matter
bad
what.
practice. We identified it in the Illinois Tea Party. That's a bad practice because the private sector doesn't get 3% a year on
And
their,
that means
on
in
their cost of
24
living.
years, their pension doubles. Everybody's pension doubles who retires with 24 years, which is
Relentlessly,
everybody
it does.
in Illinois.
So a $70,000 pension in 10 years is a $100,000 pension, right?
That is correct.
Yep.
That
Now,
is correct.
you say that again, Jeff. Let our listeners say that again, please.
This is Bill's own data, so I'm quoting from the master himself. A $70,000 pension with the current cost of living adjustments that they get would be a $100,000 pension in 10 years.
Now, who in the free market is getting that kind of raise under these economic
Zero.
dire straits?
No one.
Everybody
Businesses
should
are not-
know, everybody that wants to talk about finance should know the rule of 72. And
compounding.
that means that
24 years, you'll double.
just double
So-
the percentage and it'll tell you how long.
This is why
Tell you
right
how
now
long
we
it-
have 5,500 people with pensions over 100,000. This 3% increment every year is why we're going to have 25,000.
That's geometric. It does a...
They call that a hockey stick in the
Hockey
world I
stick.
came
Right,
from.
right.
Yeah.
So that's why there's going to be 25,000 pensions over 100,000 by 2020 in 9 years.
So
25,000.
we need a 401k defined contribution plan for everyone.
Absolutely.
So you don't believe that people should do this 3-tier pension
No,
system of
should be one.
512?
No.
It clearly is an unsustainable system, but do you think our lawmakers that are in Springfield right now will go ahead and push this through? I mean, people don't know enough about this.
They can't even get the simple one through. They
Right.
can't get the fat one through. I don't know how
This
they're
is the
gonna get
best deal
skinny
they're
one
ever going to
through.
get. You know, I say this all the time. The 512 is the best deal they're ever going to get because it's a cliff after this point.
It's a good starting place. It is clearly a good starting
Right,
place.
and the legislators I've talked to says we're not locked into legislation that wouldn't, that we couldn't go for more reforms because this is just the beginning
This
of
is the
reform.
beginning, so it's a
Absolutely.
This thing is
progressive.
going to go through a ringer. There
well.
will be a change because this is unsustainable.
Yep.
There will be a
And-
change eventually, one way or the other, because they'll run out of money
The
if they don't
teachers
change it.
should realize that the dues they paid to their teachers union have caused the teachers union to become the powerful political enemy of everybody, including the teachers, and their union has now screwed up their pension.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of teachers that are actually waking up to
They
this
should
fact.
wake up to it.
Because
They
it's
should
their,
quit paying dues to it.
When we
Yeah.
were doing pension reform back in May, we
Yep.
hit thousands of
Yep.
households, and we were talking to just the voters. And first, they didn't understand it, but when you start explaining it to them and make them realize that the whole system is going to crash, and if you have a pension, you ain't getting it. You ain't getting it, and that's the problem. That is
There's a
clearly
lot
the problem.
of professional opinions, legal opinions, that if the state runs out of money, the taxpayers are not obligated to make that up.